Hello friends and welcome back to another in-depth look at 7 Days to Die XML modding and stuff. So in this episode we're going to carry on from where we were last night where we were editing the biomes.xml file. In this episode we're going to be looking at the rwgmixer file. Now the rwgmixer file controls the arrangement and probability of different biomes generated in the world. Now I've done some pretty extensive testing to kind of play with the variables. So let's go ahead and open this file up. So again, this is going to be in your Steam. Oops. So your Steam apps, common, 7 Days to Die data directory. So we'll go in here and we're going to open up the RGW mixer file, and I'm using Notepad++, which is a free open source program for editing text and programming. I recommend it. It's great. So the rwgmixer.xml file. So first thing at the very top, you get a world definition node. You get properties that I have modified. So the default value here is 1200. So that is a 1200 meter biome. I have doubled it to 2400 meters. So basically all the biomes are twice as large as they are in the default file. Let me go ahead and open the default file so we have that as well, just so we can refer back and forth. So the default file has got 1200 for the default size, max center offset of 0.8. This one's a little flaky. I thought at first that it governed the eccentricity of the biome, but it seems to do odd things. So I've lowered this value from 0.8 to 0.2, and I am getting a large town in every biome that I've checked. So I don't know. The increasing the biome size also helped a little bit, but changing that biome center offset to 0.2 had a huge change, and I'll show you that with this world in a little bit. So the next one down here, river radius, default value is 24. So this is basically means that it's twice this, so 48 blocks wide is how wide the river is going to be. Now I've gone ahead and I've tweaked my river up to 50 blocks, so it'd be 100 blocks wide. I've gone higher. I've gone up to 100 to test it out. The problem is much over 50 and the bridges start getting broken. They don't connect on both ends. It says that there's basically a maximum length of those bridges, and it seems to be about 100 blocks. So anything over 50 for a radius, and you're not going to have bridges that connect on the roads in the two biomes. And you also get some strange mergers. Even at 50, you start getting some strange mergers with the roads being offset a little bit between biomes. So if you're not too concerned about those roads connecting nicely between biomes, then you can play with this number being larger. But I would recommend going no higher than 50 for that value. The next file down here is river curve offset distance. Going higher makes the rivers curvier, and you can get like some almost S curved rivers curving back and forth, which makes some interesting terrain. I have gone ahead and played with it all the way up and down, and I'm back to 80. It gives a nice curve to the biomes without getting too wonky, and high and getting too high, like over 100 or so. Again, started having some strange issues with the bridges. So I would say don't go higher than 80, really. I mean, you can go to 100, not too problem. If you go to like 120, you start getting really strange. And if you want basically like city blocks, you could go down to like 20 and get some really city blocky looking biomes. The last item here in the max generation distance from world center, this tells you, so basically this would only be used if you were, for example, running a PvP server and you wanted to keep people contained. You could set it to be maybe 5 by 5 biomes, so you have 25 biomes to work within, so you keep people more concentrated. But in your own worlds, I would leave it 0, and for any kind of just PvE or just exploration type servers, leave it at 0. So that basically means that it'll just keep generating biomes until forever. Now the next section, each biome that is defined in the biomes, let's go ahead and open that back up here. in the biomes XML file, each of these biomes is in here as well. Now, I played around a lot with this probability value here, and you can tweak it to a small amount and try loading your world. I tried to create a snow-only world, a sand-only world, a wasteland-only world by adjusting the probability up or down, to, setting it to 0, saying it to 1 to be 100%. And I had intermittent success on having anything actually work. Like the world would just not load. And just as an example, let's go ahead and set the snow to 1, which should say make everything snow world. So I'm going to go ahead and save this RWG mixer file. I'm going to go into 7 Days to Die. I'm going to make a new game, and I'm going to call it Snowland. Okay. I hit start, and I immediately get, terrain's being generated. You get a terrain generator is null, and you get an object reference not set. So that basically crashes 7 days. It will not proceed beyond this point. Now, like I mentioned, I'm going to go ahead and pause here real quick. Okay, I went ahead and I force quit out of 7 days and then restarted it again after having saved the value back to 0.15. So you can tweak it a little bit. I thought maybe at first that all the probabilities for each biome had to add up to 1. Not true. They add up to well more than 1. I was able to set some to 0. So, for example, I set plains to 0. Got no plains biomes generating. But it is really squirrely. So, unless you want to just experiment on your own, I would say leave the probabilities alone until we can get a real good explanation for why they don't work. I would say leave them alone. I'm going to post some questions on the forums, and hopefully Kinyanju will answer, or I can maybe find somebody else with an answer already. But basically, like I said, I tweak things by tiny little bits. I went to 0.2, 0.25, 0.3, reloading worlds, trying different things in difference. I tried to delete all the other biomes other than one biome only. I thought maybe it was just the Wasteland Hub needed to be in there, so I had just Wasteland Hub and then Wasteland only. I did make worlds where it was pretty much all Wasteland, and then worlds where it was mostly forest. But again, it was hit and miss on what would work. There was no rhyme or reason of why or why not certain things would work. So I recommend that you don't mess with it. Or if you do mess with it, acknowledge the fact that you're going to get what you should do before you actually play is go in with creative, enable your debug mode and teleport around. If the world loads, it's a good sign. But I would still then teleport around, check out a lot of biomes nearby, just go, extend out on the map in each direction and make sure you don't have a problem loading the end of the world. Because I even had one map with it was mostly a desert world with a high probability of desert. And I was going through multiple biomes of nothing but snow of desert, and then I hit a point where the game said unable to generate more chunks, and it crashed out, and I basically couldn't proceed beyond that point. I could load the game again, but I couldn't move beyond that point. So there's something strange in the neighborhood when it's generating these. So I would go ahead and I would just, for now, either tinker slightly or don't tinker with these probability values. Okay? Now, other cool things. Edge trim distance. This is if you want to have really smooth edges of the map, and edges. If you want to have nice wide roads, curvy or not curvy roads, you can change a lot of these values and just see what works. The other cool things, again, these don't matter too much. I wouldn't worry about those much. The other ones that I played around with a lot was road materials, snow road, asphalt, and gravel are good choices for roads. For example, I went in and let's see if I can do it here on my desert. I went in here and I set that to gravel. So in the desert, all my roads were gravel, which kind of makes, you know, if you're out in deserts a lot, you get a lot of desert roads, so it kind of makes sense. Other options in here that you can set and control and do different things with. Wilderness point of interest probability. So here's a 0.75 chance of there being a number of wilderness POIs in this biome. So when it does that, if it does generate and say yes, there is a chance to spawn. And if so, then how many to spawn? And this controls the minimum and the maximum number to spawn. So if you want to have it always spawn points of interest in the snow biome, you can set it to 1. And let's say you want to have a minimum of 3 points of interest and a maximum of 9, for example. That would give you more points of interest. And these are wilderness ones. These are ones that are not associated to roads. So these are generally going to be the barns, the little shacks, the campsites. So these are not city centers. These are the kind of standalone points of interest. So keep that in mind. I'm going to set these back to default. Gravel. So do like that. So I'm going to actually go in my forest, and I'm going to say, I'm still going to keep it at a lower percentage, but I'm going to go 3 to 9 on that. Now, the next section out is your hub rural and your hub town. Now, there was a post by Kinyanju, who again is the guy who does the development on the random world generation for the pimps. His gamer tag is Kinyanju. He posts on the forums that way, and he's got a little blog on Imgur. He said that one of the things that he found that would kind of fix the problem with the very low number of cities being spawned was to change this value to 206. Because there was a culling issue. Now, I found that by doing my fix of increasing the biome size and lowering this to 0.2, I got more city hubs than by leaving those at stock and adjusting this to 206. But if you wanted to try, you can go ahead and set that in there and try, see what that does. And again, in these hubs, you could control the asphalt. You can control the road types as well. So if you want to have gravel roads in the cities, you could control that as well. Road radius is the width of the roads in the city or in the countryside. So if you wanted in the forest to have nice wide roads, you could set that value up higher. And again, the road radius is half the value. So the total road width would be 14 blocks. City size and blocks, how many blocks to generate. So this says it's going to be at most a 1 by 1 block. I don't quite buy that. And the reason why I will show you, because I was finding much larger blocks, block sizes. So I'm not sure if this value is being really implemented at this time. So now that we've kind of gone over those, I want to kind of show you really quickly what I came up with based upon these changes. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. Again, I've already generated a world. We're going to go ahead and tab over into 7 days, continue this game. I have my, let me delete that borked one. So I have my RWG mixer map. Let's go ahead and start that up. And I'm going to enter debug mode so I can get around in the world quickly. Now, I've already explored this world just to kind of pre-generate it. And I wanted to show you what I got out of it with those settings, which I thought, I really liked it. I like the larger biomes. Oops, what am I trying to do here? Okay, so just for example, let's fly through this city. So this is one small town that was generated. Pretty good size, as you can see. It feels a lot larger than the average town that is generated. And I'm not sure how you define this. Is this as in number of blocks. I mean, technically, according to the random world generation, it should be 1 by 1 as a max size, but this looks larger than 1 by 1 to me. But anyway, good size city there. And just to show you the size of the biomes, here is the demarcation point. Let's go ahead and teleport to here. And I'll show you. Oh, that's interesting. So this is pretty much the extent of the river. And you can see the rivers are wider than the default. And I kind of like that as well. I like to have the nice wide rivers. It leads to some nice lakes as well on the sides with that value. Now, this is all the same biome. So you can see that you can travel a lot. Ooh, let's check that out. That looks kind of cool. Really narrow lake there. Narrow. I like these little roadways here. So again, if you went into your XML file and in the road trim distance, if you set that to higher, oops, let's not do that. If you set that value higher, you would have more ground that was flat on both sides of the road. So if you wanted to have that, basically it's the kind of causeway effect that's built up around these built-up roads that would go through a lake or a hillside or whatever. It's how much flat ground from the center point of the road. So you want to make sure you balance that. So if you make your roads wider, you want to make sure you make that flat wider as well. All right, let's keep teleporting. So this is all still the same biome. So you can see how much larger. There we go. So there's the bridge finally. And we got a nice plains over there. And yeah, we have a good merge here. So about 50 is a good distance for that. Much higher and you start getting really strange problems. So anyway, look at the size of this biome. So you can just see, and this is zoomed all the way out, that you got a much larger biome this way. Now, up here in this desert biome, this is already generated, so it's not going to have the gravel roads. But again, really nice, big city being generated. So not having any problem at all getting points of interest generated. That's kind of interesting. Oh, nope. I did get, because I changed that file and this block had not been loaded. So now we got a desert with a gravel road, which I don't know. To me, it feels nice. I like that. I probably will go ahead and change this for my own game as well. Oh, and I love that effect. When the fog's not there, to have those nice blowing sand, that to me adds a lot of immersion and reality to the game. I guess immersion and reality, kind of the same thing. So anyway, another biome up here, another huge biome, another big city. Whoa, hello. So another nice change, nice biomes. Oh, I like this hillside. Oh, that's kind of cool. It actually shows like the bent, like plate tectonics almost. That's interesting. I have not seen something like that before. That is really cool. That's sorry. Anyway, distracted. Again, another biome, another good-sized city. Biome over here. Look at the size of this city. It's massive. So these, you cannot complain about the size and number of points of interest with this settings. So again, if you would like to have, cities like this, and this is not to say that things are not going to change in Alpha 11.2, because I know that Hinyanju said that he has made some tweaks to the random world generation that should address the low point of interest. But something tells me that even with his new changes, if you increase the biome size, you're going to get even more of these huge cities. Let's check over here, see if we can find one more of these nice big cities. I'm just gonna kind of follow the roads. And I do big jumps because these biomes are huge, which I like. It really gives you a feeling. Oh, we may have the first biome without a city. Ha! All right, let's go down here. We'll do one more biome just to check. So we got a desert or a wastelands biome. Just gotta check it out. And I've got one more thing that I wanted to show you guys. Yep. So we have another nice wasteland city hub. Which, why you'd want to come here, I don't know. I do not know. You can find all the stuff you need outside of the hub city, and it's not so freaking horrible to look at. And there's not as many hornets. Not as many hornets. All right, so once again, let me go ahead and quit out of this world. So again, the big things that I found that I really enjoyed doing was to change the road material. Change, like I said, if you want to change the road size, road radius, you'd want to make sure you update the road curve as well. And then in the world section, biome size to 2400, biome max center offset to 0.2, river radius to 50, gives you nice big rivers, gives you really nice large biomes, and seemingly a lot of cities being generated, all with the default settings down here for generation of those kind of things. So one more thing I want to show you guys. So give me a moment and I will show you my little new treat for myself. All right, we're in the desert. Look at this. Look at this. It's actually a failure. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I've been playing with trying to create a oasis in the game, and just not working right yet. I need to learn a little bit more. May need to go into the assembly files, or may need to wait for random world to be a little more fleshed out before this can. I have another idea, but I also need one more tool before I start that. But look, it's an oasis that doesn't quite work, but it's water. It's sort of working, but I need to be able to trim distance around it as well. So I have to. I'm gonna keep playing with this, and if I ever do get an oasis working properly, I want a couple of trees around it. I want to make it much rarer than it is currently spawning in. Because right now there's quite a bit of them, and and quite a bit of broken is what's happening right now. So anyway, back to our random roll generation mixer. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If you guys come up with a nice set that you are getting really good generation with, let me know. But just for myself, I'm really finding these values for this section right here to be really nice. Getting a lot of hubs as you've seen, a lot of POIs. The only other things I would change is that gravel roads in the desert. And also maybe increase the number of wilderness POIs by modifying this area right here. So anyway, if you have questions, let me know in the comments. If there's something you want me to clarify or test, let me know. And I look forward to more videos coming. The next ones will probably be covering, let's go back here to config. We'll probably look at blocks next. So that'll be the next one we cover. And blocks are all the good stuff in the game. So for now, it's been RongoTheBold. Hope you're enjoying. Click that like button. Let me know in the comments, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye-bye. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Shh. Wow, what a huge cavern.